Good morning, and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Today's topic is going to be gratitude. Gratitude is an attitude, and your attitude will determine your altitude. I like these neat little sayings. I didn't make them up, I get them from someone else. Nothing I have is new. It may be a little remixed, but nothing is new under the sun, as they say. Gratitude. Why is gratitude important? Because everything you have today is something you wanted yesterday. Think about that. Everything that you have today is something you wanted yesterday. And you thought probably that it would make your life better, or that you would feel better, happier, more content, whatever. So if you're not content, happy, and grateful with what you have today, then why should you allow yourself to have any more? And that's really what it's all about, is allowing abundance and your desires to flow into your life. There is a part of you, the higher self, divinity, God, superconscious mind, subconscious, whatever you want to call it, that can bring you everything you want in life. They say, whoever the infamous they are, that only about 5% of everything you do during the day is done consciously by your rational, conscious, decision-making mind. The rest of it is done by the powerhouse, the subconscious. They relate it to like an iceberg floating above the water. You see only a very small part of that iceberg protruding out of the ocean. But underneath there's a giant, massive piece of ice that you can't see. The dangerous part, if you like, if you're in a ship such as the Titanic. Jack. Yeah, we all remember that one, don't we? True love. Anyway, on with the topic of gratitude. That was a good movie. I did like it. Kind of blue-pilled, but it was a good movie regardless. But on the other hand, red pill, because the men gave their lives for the women and children. That seems to be something women forget nowadays. I could really get off topic here, and I'm going to just a little bit. That men have always given their lives to protect women and children, and yet they still want to say that men are not needed, or men are useless, or you know the narrative in the West today. But let's get off that. I'm grateful I live in a country where I can speak my mind and say what I want to say. That I have quite a bit of freedom of speech, although we did see some censorship this last couple of years, it seems to me. Yeah, I won't get into that either. That's another topic that I don't even know if I can talk about because of censorship. But you must be grateful. And what the problem here in the U.S. and the West is we are so comfortable and secure, we've forgotten to be grateful. What does they say? Strong men make good times. No, hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. Weak men make hard times. We are in the time of good times and weak men here in the States. I'll be 62 in a few days, and I've lived a few days, and I've seen quite a bit in my life. And I've never seen as many weak and feminized men as we have here in the United States since I was born. So we have a lot of weak men. People call me rude, people call me a misogynist, people say, what, were you born in the 13th century? Go back and crawl back underneath that rock you came out from. Because people think I'm rude because I'm direct. I speak with intent. I don't consider myself rude. I came from a time when to speak directly as a man with intent and with the force of your will, not domineeringly, but just to speak as a man is now considered to be offensive. But as we know, everyone is offended by everything nowadays. In my day, a man could walk up to you and tell you that he thought you were lazy and fat, and by God, if you were, you just accepted it. There wasn't any of this cancel culture or go file a complaint. I've actually heard in some places they're trying to make that illegal, that words are our violence. I'll tell you what, sometimes you need to be called lazy and fat. I remember one time when I was fat, overweight, or can I even say that word? Is that going to cue something in here? I was overweight. I was fat. I didn't feel good about myself. Actually, nobody had to tell me. I knew it. But if someone would have called me out on it and I got pissed off about it, that would have been me. I mean, it was my deal. I knew I was overweight. So today I am grateful that I grew up in a time where I can accept someone's honest criticism and be grateful for it. Today I have friends and associates who tell me what I want to hear. They don't worry about hurting my feelings. They worry about me becoming the best I can be, calling me out. I mentor people, and I have a mentor. I have several mentors now. I need them. I need someone to be honest and direct with me. I don't want to be coddled into failure. I don't want to be coddled into mediocrity. And that's what it seems like is going on here in the West. We've made things so easy and comfortable and safe. And it is, I'm telling you, if you travel out of the country, you'll see how comfortable and safe it is compared to 85% of the world. And we need to be grateful for that. And honestly, I can't say I would be as grateful as I am had I not traveled out of the U.S. so much. But so many people live in their little bubble here. It's like when I go down to the city and I do some work down there, everybody's yards are perfect. Everybody's homes are perfect. Everything is quiet, peaceful. I don't even see kids playing in the street. Everything is just perfect, comfortable, safe. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that, but we don't appreciate it. We have young men growing up feeling like they're oppressed. How in the hell can you be oppressed in the U.S. unless you're oppressed within yourself? What people say from other countries that come here to live, the one thing they notice and they don't understand is why people here complain so much. Do you know why they don't understand that? Because they come from a place where it's really oppressed, really difficult to survive and to feed your family. And we've got it made here. We have food pantries everywhere, and most of the people that are going there are overweight. And they don't walk there, they drive. I'm not sure what the stats are, but I think it's around 75% of the people don't own cars in the world. It might be higher than that. And what do we complain about? Oh, my car's now. I need a new BMW. I need a new Mercedes. My SUV's broke down. Damn, I got a flat tire. I'll have to call the mechanic to come and change it. Our roadside assistance. I mean, we are so comfortable here. And that's fine, as long as we appreciate it and are grateful for it, because that will bring more. But when we're not grateful or appreciative for what we have, guess what happens? We will lose it. And I am really fearful that we may be on the way to losing that now. Maybe in my lifetime, but I'm living 105 years here, so it's a long time. I may be ready to check out before then. I understand why when people get older, they're ready to go. It's like your friends start passing away and things become so different from what you grew up with. It's like some of the tools we have now are great tools, but they're not as durable as what we had when I was younger. Now, my kids don't know the difference, but I know the difference of quality. That's something else. Our quality has dropped here in the U.S. We're lacking on skilled laborers here. And we should be grateful for the Spanish people that are coming here, because they do all the yard work and many other jobs that the Americans don't want to do because we've become so soft and weak. I started out trying to talk about gratitude. I'll tell you what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that I grew up in the time that I did. Even my kids say they wish they would have grew up when I grew up. You think it's easy for these kids now? They have all the modern conveniences and technology, but yet it's more difficult for them. Even though it's more comfortable, safer, and easier, it's more difficult psychologically because they don't have challenges. We need challenges and adversity as men to grow and become strong men who can make a good nation for all of us, for the men and the women. Men have become feminized and women have become masculinized. It's kind of reversed. And as we look back through history, and it's ridiculous, we teach history in school so we don't repeat it. But if we look back in history, many great civilizations, nations have become, like the U.S., morally corrupt, and they fall. They destroy themselves from within. But yet we study history so we won't repeat it, but yet we are repeating it at the moment. So what am I grateful for? I'm grateful that I live in this wonderful country, the United States, where I can sit here without bars in my windows. I don't even lock my doors during the day. We got some drug addicts around here, but they don't bother me. They're not too bad. Go to some other countries. You can't have a home as I have here and have things out in the yard. And if you do, people will steal them. You have to have everything fenced in with barbed wire on top. Most people lock themselves in the house at night with bars on their windows, and that's how they keep safe. Unless you live in the really, really impoverished areas where they kind of live in tents and huts and boxes and concrete houses where everyone is really poor. Many people complain about all the rich people in the U.S. Rich bastards, they call them. I'm telling you what, go live in a impoverished nation. There is much more thievery, conniving, dishonesty, and stealing there than you'll find in the rich neighborhoods. Much safer to live in a rich neighborhood or in a well-to-do upper middle class or middle class neighborhood than the impoverished areas of the world. Very dangerous. But yet people want to complain about rich people. Well, they do that because that justifies them not pushing themselves to be more successful. If they can badmouth the rich people and they're not one of them, then that's okay, that they don't extend themselves or expand themselves to where they can become wealthy too. There's plenty of money in the world for everyone. But you have to have the consciousness of that first before you can attract it. That's just the way it is. And I'm grateful that we have books to read, that we can study. We don't have to be what we were born. We can change ourselves and become what we desire to be. And that's up to you. We live in a world where we can read, study, and grow and learn and become whatever we desire to be. And it all depends on your volition, what you desire. If you want to sit around and complain about all the bad things in life, you can certainly do that and attract more of that to your life. Or you can look at this first world country we live in, if you live in a first world country, and realize how damn lucky you are to be in a spot where you can become whatever you want to become. You have opportunity, you have education given to you, you have grants, you have, my God, food, housing, everything. If you're not able to work, you're not going to starve here unless you choose to starve. In other countries, if you don't work, you don't survive. When I was in Kiev about 6 years ago, I went out with a few girls and I talked to them. I said, really, in the U.S., you don't have to work. You can get housing, you can get food, you can get education. As long as you're moving yourself in a direction of becoming more than you are, of making it on your own, there are programs here that will help you get there. Where she lived, where these girls live, they were working, going to school, going to the gymnasium, sharing an apartment with a friend. They worked their asses off to survive and to make something of themselves. And even when they're done, they can't make the same money as a doctor or a lawyer that we can make here. And then we complain and bitch? No, we should be speaking and focusing and magnifying gratitude for what we have here. Focus on the good and more good will come to you. Gratitude, the attitude will bring more and more to be grateful about. If you complain about limitations, about oppression, guess what? You're going to find and experience more limitations and oppression in your life. The choice is yours. You have what they call free will. Use yours wisely today. That's all I have time for today. Smash that like button and subscribe. I got Sparty Fortune on the podcast tonight. We're going to talk about game, and he is good at game. So that's it, guys. Take care. Have a great day.